breaking news. In fact, this is coming in directly from the Middle East, where we are learning of an explosion that has taken place in the middle of a road just a short while earlier. This, in fact, a video that we're going to play out on your screens is a moment after the motorcycle was seen passing there on camera. Dramatic footage has now come out from Tel Aviv's or Yehuda city. In fact, earlier it was also reported that shrapnel also hit a residential building in Bat Yam, and searches are underway for trapped individuals. In fact, these are some of the visuals that we're playing out on the screen for you now, viewers. So this goes on to show the kind of extent of which the damage that is taking place really in the Middle East. In fact, look at the visuals here. This is from earlier today in Or Yehuda. This also comes under Tel Aviv in Israel, where this strike had taken place. Just earlier today, there were also reports of shrapnel that had hit Bat Yam. That is also another part of Israel. In fact, in that incident, shrapnel was also reported to have hit a residential building. And searches are underway over there to search for trapped individuals. While here in Or Yehuda, near Tel Aviv, or in Tel Aviv rather, we're learning that another strike has taken place. In fact, this dramatic footage shows the extent of the strike that has happened. In fact, there was also a biker who was going past this road when the entire strike took place. Unfortunately for him, though, it looks like he has survived. In fact, Mayank is also joining us now on the broadcast to give us more details. Mayank, just take us to what's happening there, because you've been there for over a week now in Tel Aviv. So what's the latest that's happening there in Israel, and what's the situation like, in fact, at the moment?
So cluster munitions are doing all the harm, and it is creating a lot of destruction and danger on the ground. And whether it's Tel Aviv or the way we brought out the larger craters and destructions which happened in Dimona and Arad. So what you see is actually, let us bring out an aspect. Have the Iranians found a response, or rather a solution to the munitions which were being destructed in the air? I mean to raise this question to say that they are using cluster munitions in such a way that they are creating, at the end of the operation, they are creating craters and destruction on ground. So it is creating images. Images are a major message to the people. So that needs to be understood. And today, Tel Aviv at multiple points it was not major explosions, but the munitions which were destroyed in the air itself, the debris which fell over the places and all areas, it has created the destruction. Whereas what we covered right in the morning at Dimona and Arad, they were missiles and bigger munitions which were used. So you see a profile which is changing in a different manner, but ultimately they are affecting the ground. So images are being created, people are writing or talking.
Ultimately, it is the innocent civilians who are bearing the brunt of the war that is taking place between Iran and Israel. Several civilians have already lost their lives in this battle, but the conflict continues at the moment. Thank you, Mayank, for joining us on the broadcast and giving us those details.